Hey y'all, welcome to the Clock Tower. I'm Colton here with Brandon. The 18th day of the Weiss Schwarz Invitationals in the books. A busy day today with 4 games. Let's get right to it. And we'll start with Daniel Hadsu taking on Connor.
In game 1, Connor's level 0 game came into play. Recognizing that his deck only runs 12 level 0s, Connor's only able to swing with 4 level 0s. Hadsu kept Connor at level 0 for an extended period of time to try to take advantage of the lack of zeros that Connor had. So within 3 turns, he only was able to swing 4 times. So in the meantime, Hadsu was able to build hand and resources to get prepared for upper levels. However, when Connor hit level 1, he was actually able to win board with his level 1s, respond again with his level 1s, for 2 rounds actually, being able to full field 1s, and pushed Hadsu up in damage considerably, pushing him up to 3-1 while Connor was still not even 2. So not going Hadsu's way game 1. Hadsu trying to respond, trying to get some damage out on field, pushing Connor up to 3-1. However, Connor's able to get all the U's and the Chicas on the field for the win, Connor taking the first game. Game 2 starts off very similar story. Hadsu playing the early 0 game to keep Connor from building resources. He full fields with combo. Connor's able to get level 1s on field just like before. However, Hadsu is able to actually have a level 2 game this time around and is able to push damage, pushing Connor up to 2-6. Connor clocks into 3, brings out the Chicas and the U's. However, Daniel's able to cancel on the combos at Connor's level 3, stays at 2-4, able to full field, push Connor up to 3-4. Connor's only able to push Hadsu up to 3-2, and then Hadsu's able to come in for the win. As we enter into game 3, now Hadsu builds a strong start once again. Connor passes turn at level 0, just not able to get playables on field. Hadsu taking full advantage of this with a full field, pushing Connor to level 1. Connor then being able to full his field and respond. Hadsu then gets his combo off. Connor pushed up to 2, but does not bring out the Chica Yo combo. At this point, Connor then starts playing some of his playables, but even then he's not playing the full fields like he was earlier. He's playing only 1-ofs. And then Hadsu able to push for lethal and stick the damage, climaxes being on the bottom of Connor's deck. The last game was very much a struggle for Connor for resources, cards on field, and even the deck compression, while compression was nice, climaxes being on the bottom isn't going to help anybody. Hadsu's able to take this series 2-1 and is able to advance further on in the tournament. Matchup 2 for the day was Vince with Goblin Slayer versus Brandon with KonoSuba. Entering into game 1, KonoSuba being able to get some swimsuit megamines on field, which is a difficult matchup for the level 0 game of Goblin Slayer. Vince has to sack, goes into level 1, and only is able to take out 2 of the 3. Brandon with double ambush union in the backfield, able to continue to push for damage, pushing Vince up to 2-2 while still at level 1. Vince trying to come back, getting more zeros on the field just to be able to have something to swing with. Brandon responds by early playing an Aqua. Vince trying to come in just to get some of the vanilla swings in to get some damage in on Brandon. Able to push him up to 2-4. Goes for the double Musashi Dwarf Shaman and is able to then use that to take the win for game 1. Game 2, again, kind of starts out very similarly. Brandon, the swimsuit megamines, and Vince with the bombs in order to try to clear those out. Vince goes to 2 first and is able to stand by some stuff in to be able to get some level 3s on field early, while Brandon's still at 1-2. Vince trying to downplay against foreclosure as much as possible throughout this game, whereas Brandon not feeling the need to worry about such things. He early plays Aqua twice, gets some heals in at level 2. Vince tries to push as much damage as he can. Brandon's able to cancel, and Vince dies to refresh, and Brandon takes the win. Going into game 3, a relatively close game, both sitting at about 1. Brandon then comes in with level 1 combo union this time, like a legitimate union combo, 2 unions and the combo. So really first time seeing this in this matchup, and pushes Vince up to level 2. Ideally, Vince really likes level 2 with his standby. He likes to go a little bit more defensively with the Witch this time around to try to help keep canceling damage. Brandon responds with early play heals, the Aqua, and this game slows down a little bit regarding that. Brandon just beginning to kind of start cycling these aquas. Vince just slowly taking damage, unable to really heal back any of it. And Brandon is able to win this last game a little bit more decisively at 2-3. So Brandon takes this series 2-1, advancing into the next round of matchups.
It's been a tough tournament for Goblin Slayer. Vince, the next to last deck left in the set. I think Goblin Slayer's struggles have been surprising to a lot of people. I think a lot of people maybe thought that Goblin Slayer wasn't going to do as well in this tournament as maybe its representative share indicated, but I don't know if anyone really saw this coming, and Vince demonstrating an interesting Goblin Slayer build that's a little bit more off-meta, but still the set really continues to struggle, and now we're down to just the one representative with Broderick playing the Priestess build. KonoSuba, on the other hand, has been doing really well in this tournament, and it showed up in 3 different matchups today. Its second matchup, Coen taking on Davide and his Cardcaptor Sakura list. Cardcaptor took this one 2-1 after KonoSuba took Game 1. Game 1 was fairly typical. KonoSuba closed with its standard in-game package. It got the Fumio and the Foreclosure off, was able to decompress Davide and then finish from there. In Game 2, Coen really struggled to establish board presence. He didn't really have many playables in the early part of the game. Only took 1 total swing in 2 turns, and Davide was able to push and take a damage lead. Coen was able to get his Union combo on field and push Davide right back into level 2, but didn't have the resources that he needed for his endgame. Didn't get his Climax combo off with level 3, and Davide was able to cancel on 5 with the burn Megamine and took Game 2. In Game 3, Davide did a really good job of keeping board presence. Again, Coen didn't get his combo off, and Davide was able to use his change mechanic to keep getting his level 3 reflex onto the field. Didn't let Coen get big swings in because of the Soul Neg. Yeah, Coen couldn't push for damage at level 3, and Davide outlasted Coen in the endgame, took Game 3, and Cardcaptor Sakura continues its upstart run with another win, and it's into the top 4, Brandon.
Ryan versus Riaz. Ryan overtakes Riaz in this matchup 2-1. Riaz takes Game 1. He's able to get his level 1 combo off very effectively, and Ryan doesn't. Ryan only gets 1 Bunny Girl on field, and Riaz is able to take advantage of that, snowballing his level 1 into essentially the end game. He's able to push Ryan into level 3 and sacks his level 1 characters at that point. So when Ryan comes to level 3, he can only swing big. He has no reverses he can pull off. He has no clock kick options. Ryan tries to respond as best he can. However, it's not enough damage output. And then Riaz is able to turn around with level 3 Kiratos on field with the reverse burn damage. And it's too much.
Yeah, it really felt like Riaz controlled the tempo in Game 1. Despite the fact that he didn't really hold board all that well. The Yu-Gi-Oh! Combo is small, so it doesn't tend to survive. He was able to get that combo off twice, though. He got a lot of resources and was able to really push Ryan for damage in the mid-game.
In Game 2, momentum begins to swing the other way as Ryan gets his Bunny Girl Union on field and is able to start generating stock and just maintaining field presence. Riaz 2 turns in a row only swings with 2 attackers, trying to save resources for the end game so you can get those burns off. However, it's not going to be enough as Ryan pushes Riaz up too high with too much of a gap, and the Kiratos are unable to meet that damage threshold needed to win the game. Going into Game 3, it was very much almost like a back and forth type of game. Riaz definitely winning the level 0 game. Ryan coming on field with level 1, being able to generate and build momentum to push him into the end game. As we arrive into the end game itself, Ryan in position to get the Megamine Burn 5 into play, get the extra instances of damage to stick enough for win. Riaz cancels the Burn 5, but sticks the swing that followed, which ended up being enough damage because Ryan called a shot and said that the top card was going to be a 2-soul trigger, which it was, and Riaz took that damage, giving Ryan the 3rd game win in this matchup.
KonoSuba does what it does, and if there is no more dangerous deck than KonoSuba when it's high rolling. So Ryan gets his redemption from losing to Riaz at Worlds, moves into the top 4. Riaz into the elimination bracket. Having a quick look at that bracket, 3 of the top 4 spots in the main bracket are filled now with Patrick's Love Live Sunshine deck. Davide and Ryan all in. Ryan and Davide will face each other. Patrick will play the winner of Matt and Jesh. In the elimination bracket, the bracket's kind of staggered still. We have Lamb and Kit still yet to play their round 2 game, whereas Riaz and Ian are all set for their 4th round game. So still a lot to play for in the elimination bracket. Still some really good decks and some really good players. Riaz and Ian, I think, are 2 guys that I think a lot of people thought could potentially win this tournament. And they'll be facing each other. One of them not going to get past this next round. Coen will play the winner of Daniel and Brandon. Christian will play the winner of Sven and Clinton. And Broderick awaits the winner of Lamb and Kit. So again, a lot still to play for. A lot of matchups still yet to be determined. Only a couple of those matchups are scheduled as of right now. That game with Matt and Jesh will take place at 10 o'clock Eastern Time tonight over on Strictly Broken. There's only one other game that is scheduled as of right now, and that is on Monday. Daniel, Hadsu, and Brandon will play each other at 7 a.m. Eastern Time. That game does not have a stream yet. On Monday, July 6th at 7 a.m. Eastern Time. So it looks like it's going to be a relatively quiet next couple of days as a couple more spots in this bracket shake out. And again, check the description for any updates in the streaming schedule. We'll keep that updated as best we can, and we will be back tomorrow with a recap of everything that happens today. Until then, thank you for joining us. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, have a good one.
We'll see you then.